How you doing? It's Patch here at the GoodLife Fitness Test Kitchen. Today, we're going to learn how to cook beef. Now, not your pre-made hamburger patties, but real quality beef that is good for you and tastes great too. So Mike, explain to me what this stuff is.
Okay, so I'm going to navigate you through a little lesson on picking a steak or picking a roast. Okay, lots of different stuff in the grocery store. How do you figure out which one is best for what? So kind of 3 different levels here. What we got here, this is a dry aged ribeye steak. This is the king of all steaks in my opinion. Beautiful piece of meat. All it's going to take, a little bit of sea salt, some cracked pepper, pop it on a hot grill. It's going to be beautiful. Okay?
So how much would this cost?
This steak right here, this is dry aged. This is an organic piece of meat. This is about 20 bucks.
Okay.
Okay? This is going to feed 2 people, no problem, okay? Nice big steak. So if we're moving into a little bit more affordability, this is a skirt steak. Skirt steak is delicious as well, but it's a little bit tougher. So a couple things we can do to break down those fibers to help it along. We're gonna marinate it overnight, okay? So we're gonna soak it in something really flavorful with some kind of acid, onion, garlic.
So will it end up tasting as good as this?
It will, it will, sure, yeah. And this is also great if you're reheating it for meals down the road. If you're gonna reheat the steak, I wouldn't bother spending the money on the ribeye. Just use that straight off the grill. Another thing, you see these muscle fibers are pretty distinctive here, right?
Yep.
So if we cook this steak and we cut it the same way the muscle fibers are, it's gonna be really stringy and really chewy. In the same way that if you pull the rope apart, you just have a bunch of strings.
Correct.
We're gonna cut it across the grain and we're gonna get a whole bunch of really tender pieces that are gonna fall off.
Cool.
Okay?
Yep.
And now we move
Tastes
in.
better.
Tastes way better. It's gonna be more of a textural thing, okay? So here we have a chuck roast. Now the chuck roast is one of my favorite cuts. This is something that we're gonna cook for a really long period of time.
Back up for a second. How much would this one cost?
So this is gonna be about half the price per pound as the ribeye.
So $10.
10 bucks.
What would this cost?
And about halving that again, so this is gonna be about $5. So this is like, this whole piece right here is gonna cost you the same amount of
So
money
you
as
can feed 4 or 6 people.
at least, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Great.
very different things. This is something you're gonna do on a Sunday, cook it, set yourself up for the week. This is gonna be, you come home Thursday, finish work, pick up the kids, on the barbecue, 15 minutes of eating. Okay, so what we're gonna do for this chuck roast, we're gonna put this in a pot, we're gonna slow cook it. I do mine overnight. I put it in the oven before I go to bed, wake up in the morning, house smells fantastic, and you got food for the next 2 days. Our goal when we're cooking this is to break down all of this collagen in the meat. Collagen is a protein that helps attach really hard-working muscles to the body.
Okay.
The more a muscle gets used, the more collagen present in that meat, the more nutrients that are going to come out of it, the more flavor is going to come out of it, but we gotta break it down.
So it takes time to get the nutrients on it for your body.
It does, and what really we're trying to achieve, I mean, we could just cook this and eat it, and that collagen's still going to be present, but it's going to be tough as nails.
Got it.
Okay? If we were to just cook this too quick, it's going to get dry and burnt before that collagen's going to break down. 250 degrees, 8 to 10 hours, it's going to slowly melt out, keep that roast nice and moist, okay?
So what do you cook with this stuff? Like what vegetables?
Yeah, so this is, right here what we're looking at, this is what they call in cooking terms a mirepoix. This is carrot, celery, onion, and a few flavoring ingredients. Some herbs, some garlic, some tomato, okay? And this is all just gonna enhance that flavor. It's gonna leave us with a really nice broth at the end of all that. We can mash those vegetables right into that broth when we're done. You're gonna have a beautiful gravy to put on top of this.
Okay. And when you've cooked this, how do you know when it's done?
So with the ribeye, we're gonna do a little bit of a hand test. It's all about touching the piece of protein. We have to learn this skill, and a really easy way to do that, when you're checking a steak coming off the grill, you take your first finger and your thumb, just put them together like that for me, Patch, and just press right here.
Yep.
Okay, so that's gonna be the feeling of what a pretty rare steak is gonna feel like. Okay, so if you touch there, don't be afraid, just get right in there,
I
man.
got it.
Okay?
I got it.
It's pretty similar, right?
Yep.
So if we take our next finger, do the same thing.
Yep.
That's gonna be a medium cooked steak.
So that's this.
This is still raw, but just
Oh,
in,
okay,
in
got
general
it, yeah.
terms, after we take it
After
off.
it's
Yeah.
cooked, yeah.
So it's gonna be the same rule of thumb applying to this one as well. So medium steak,
Yeah.
touch that third finger, that's gonna be your well done steak.
Got it.
Okay? I would recommend for beginners, get yourself an instant read thermometer. When the meat comes out, just check that
They
temperature.
only cost about $15, right?
And they do, and don't be afraid to mess up when you're cooking. This is all trial and error.
Yeah.
You know, I've burned plenty of steaks in my day, but I've done it enough times that now I know for sure when a steak is done. It's just a learned skill, right? So with our chuck roast, the way that we're gonna know that it's done is it's just gonna literally be fork tender. We're gonna be able to put a butter knife to that and it's just gonna break right apart. Okay? So what we wanna do here is we'll take all of our beautiful herbs and garlic and seasonings, take our chuck roast, so we put it in the oven, let it stew overnight, really low and slow, and you wake up in the morning and this is what you're walking into,
Woo,
right?
baby.
Right? How's that for breakfast, Patch?
Perfect.
Okay? You'll never wake up to a better smell in your house than if you've slow cooked a roast for the last 8 hours.
Perfect.
So I
Now
hope,
we know how to cook meat.
yeah. So I hope that demystifies some of the
Totally.
searching for and how to cook. Obviously, there's a lot more we can talk about with this, but this is a really good starting point for someone getting into that. Okay.
And that's how you cook beef at the Good Life Test Kitchen.